Well, you can't see it, but it's raining. And it's cold. I gotta make a run for it to the shop. Get that diesel started up so I can run to town. It is not gonna be a good day to record in here, but we'll get the heater plugged in. There we go. We only run that tube heater when we're actually working because the shop's not insulated great. And so it doesn't hold heat, and we don't want to waste a bunch of money heating this space when we're not here. Over the summer, I do plan on spray foaming this garage door, and then in turn that means I'll have to fix the opener because right now we're opening and closing manually. Sorry for the shakes, my hands are cold, but anyway, show you guys what we got going today. My project today is the liquid fertilizer tender or water trailer, depending on the time of year. Got the pump over here, oil drained on it last night and changed, so that should be pretty much good to go. We'll pull the spark plug and check that, but it didn't do a whole lot last year, and I put a new one in it, so it should be all right. And then what I'm gonna do, because it really started rusting pretty bad, and right now it's surface rust, so we're gonna address it now. All this on this side where the hoses come together and where they get unhooked, hooked up, back and forth. They got 28 down on the hitch and it's getting all rusty, and same with the pan that the pump sets on. So what we're gonna do is I gotta pick up some more of this or some stuff like it. This will kill the rust. Actually, I might have enough there. And then we're gonna get some more undercoat as well and run an undercoat on this instead of just regular paint. Then we're just gonna do the little section here of the hitch, probably up to there, and then the pan and maybe that front face. I went through and wire brushed it already, so we'll get the rust killed. Same on this side. We'll get the rust killed and then get the undercoat sprayed on. So I'm not gonna lie, I've been sitting in the truck here for about 15-20 minutes since I got back, just watching the rain because I don't want to walk out in it. I'm parked right next to the shop. I'll show you. You cannot get any closer to that door than if I tried. But it's still just drizzling. Haven't gotten a downpour, but I think we are around in that half-inch mark, judging by all the water on the ground. The reason why I'm not in a big hurry to go inside is because I know that shop's got to heat up before we can do any painting anyway, so there's no rush in going in there and then sitting around doing nothing in the shop, because I ain't got phone service in the shop. I can't scroll Instagram reels, but I think we're going to make a break for it and run in the shop now. I guess we are not working because we don't have any power. Well, that sucks. I'm going to unhook the heater just in case we get a surge. Shut off the lights. And we'll, I've got a generator in here that we could drag over to the power service. But, we'll wait on that, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Should we wait? Should we do it? We'll see. I'll see if Dad's coming. If he's not coming, then we probably won't bother with it. I will also check and see when the power's coming on. I'm carrying around these paint cans like I'm doing something with them. I'll just throw them in the truck. I'll see when the power's coming back on. According to our DTE map, the power's supposed to be back on by 4:30 tonight. I'm just gonna go drag the generator out and get that going and at least get the power on for the house and the shop. I will just have to go make sure the air compressor's turned off so that doesn't try kicking on, and any bigger stuff like that. I'll probably just shut the breaker off for the welder so that there's no draw at all going to that. Generator's running. I have the power shut off to this barn because it's a 200 amp service here and 200 amp in the shop. Not going to turn anything on in the shop. I decided against that. So we're just feeding power to the house, basically. We have to feed power over to the shop just to run the fuel pump for keeping the gas can topped off. But aside from that, that is it. So got the, it's the first time using that generator, little Champion generator. I don't remember if it's a 9,000 or 10,000, but it's not it ain't a big one. So that's why we use it sparingly around here. So electric start didn't work though. So we got to look at that when this is all said and done. It is 10 till noon now. So I'm going to run out and check the generator. It's been running for 3.5, 4 hours probably. I don't know where my gloves are. It is really cold. It took like an hour for me to feel my hands once I came back in the first time. But we'll just have to tough it out. But I'm going to check and see how much gas it's burned. Tank was full when we started. And then I'll probably even just top it off while we're out there. Outage map still says 4:30, but it still says pending crew assessment as far as what the cause is. So I'm guessing they haven't seen what's actually causing the problem yet. They have resolved a few other places already, so they are moving fast and they are working. It's supposed to be warming up throughout the day, and it's supposed to be almost 65 by the end before tonight, but it does not feel like it's warming up. Get out here. Dad showed up to feed calves, so he's over there somewhere. Alright, supposedly the power's back on, so we're going to come out here, kill this generator, and get switched back over to the grid. I just checked the rain gauge. We got about 3/4 of an inch so far. Talking to a few people, I've heard 1.5 inches south of us and 1.25 inches southwest of us. So now we just pull this up to off. Outside light on the house is off, so that means the meter's on, so that must mean we have power. Now I gotta figure out how to shut this off. I think we just do this. Yep, okay. So now, put this up into utility power. Outside lights on the house, that means we're good. Over here, this breaker is for that barn. Gotta flip that on. That's the only thing I had off. This lever is for the 3-phase at the bin site, so we'll flip this back on. Everything is back full power. Try and get this to close now. That thing doesn't close the nicest. There we go. Got it. Perfect. Boy. Camera's getting foggy. I'm gonna leave that generator there. There's another spout of storm coming tonight around midnight, so just in case we need it, it's sitting there. I'll top it off with gas before I go to bed tonight. We're gonna head over to the shop, get that heater going again, and hopefully get this undercoat job done so that we can pull this tender out in the morning and bring the seed tender in. We are warm enough now to get this sprayed. We're going to start with the Rust Fix that we have on the shelf, and then we end up switching to Rust-Oleum is the other brand that we picked up. Water right there. Didn't even end up needing the can I bought. I put that one back up there so we can have it for the next time. And at some point in the future, we will probably undercoat the rest of it. But for now, that is all we are going to be doing. I don't know if I gave you guys a close look. This is Rust-Oleum undercoating. Well, I just ended up burning a whole can up so that I can just throw it away. Looks pretty good. We'll have to continue that project when season isn't encroaching on us. Now that that's complete, we'll come back in the morning, throw that pump on, and then get this out of here. Well, I gotta check the wheel bearings too. And then gonna try and rinse this tank out once we get past freezing temperatures, because there is a little bit of buildup. I don't know if some 28 salted out in there, but there's some skimmy stuff that I'll probably try and get out so that it's not plugging screens on the planter. I think that's it today. I'll pick you guys up tomorrow, since today was fairly short-lived as far as the work day goes. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Oh boy, got about 19 tenths, almost 2 inches. Good morning. We're gonna get some of this barn cleaned out over here. We got a seed delivery coming in about an hour, so got plenty of time. Get it cleaned up, get the skid steer staged, so when it shows up we can unload them, and then get on to the rest of the day, which is hopefully working on that seed tender. We gotta re-put that liquid tender back together, get the pump back on it, but that won't take long at all. This is the barn. You see main driveway access shop is over there. This gray barn here is where we store our seed on this west end through this little door. So I got to pull my Jeep out. It's pretty muddy from soil testing this spring. And I got to pull the lawnmower out. And then there's also just some miscellaneous stuff that's got to be picked up. That goes in the back there. The bucket can go over there somewhere. Got all this Premier One chicken fence laying here. I think I'm going to throw it on a pallet and stick it up there on top of the rack. And then we got to pull this fuel cell tank out. This leaks at the moment, so we got to try and diagnose that and fix the leak. I got the pump over in the shop because I was going to use it for something else, but didn't get around to it. And then just tidy up some stuff. There's garden hose just laying here. We'll pick that up, tuck it up right on the side of the rack, or get some wire to hang it on the side of the rack. And this is where we keep all our long-handled stuff. I ought to work on hanging all that up, but we'll see. We'll see if we get that far. And another pallet. So anyway, I'm just going to get this done before the seed guys get here. We're both started right up, which is good. Jeep should have anyway. It just ran a couple weeks ago, but we'll have to figure out somewhere to tuck them in. Probably can just stick the lawnmower in over right there in front of them snow plows. We'll figure out the rest, but here we are in here now. You can see we got a pretty good open area. Tuck that fuel cell over there. This truck, I'd like to get rid of it, but it is serving a purpose being here. This truck only has 115 or 120,000 miles on it. And Dad's truck has got the same motor and same transmission in it. And his has 220,000 on it now. And the motor is starting to go on his truck. So this one is just sitting here purely for when the motor does eventually completely puke out on Dad's truck, or because he wants to try and tackle it himself when he gets time. We're going to pull the engine and transmission out of this truck, and then we will scrap it, and then we'll put the engine and transmission in Dad's truck. So that's what that's sitting around for. Otherwise, I'd like to get rid of it, but I can't because it is serving a value being here for that specific purpose. Got everything tidied up over there. We could sweep this floor, but it is really soaking wet. We need to put a ridge cap on this barn, which is what we're supposed to be doing before hay season, because we do lose some hay over there from not having a ridge cap. And I just got to be aware of where I'm stacking bags. Bags got to be tucked right up against this pallet racking. And then it should be safe. I'll get the skid steer fueled up so that it's got maximum counterweight, because those soybean totes aren't the lightest things in the world. And then I'll pull it back over here and it'll be ready. I'm going to get that chisel plow unhooked from Tuesday and get the tractor backed back over in front of the disc so that can be hooked up whenever it's ready. If anybody is wondering whether that head gasket fix worked or not, big question mark. We don't know yet. We won't know until it's in the field and it's being worked to see if that exhaust is still coming out of the overflow or not. So we do have a tester we could put on it to see if there's still exhaust in the coolant, but I'm sure there probably is, so it's probably not going to tell us anything. If there's a little bit running through, we're going to run it probably, but I don't care enough to really worry about blowing that tractor up. When we're done with the seed tender, I think I'm going to pull my truck in to the shop. It's got a couple bearings out in the steering column, so Dad doesn't want me driving it. That's why I've been driving the diesel. And once we get that fixed, then I can go back to daily driving that one. I don't know why I took the keys out of it. I ought to be putting a free sign on it. It is hooked up though over here. I'm just working on getting the remotes all hooked back up, and then it'll be ready to go. Alright, we got our corn brought in. Just give you a quick rundown of what we got. We got 100-day 00A97, 98-day 98B99, and then it goes up to 108-day G08U, and so we got some of that. We don't put a lot of this in. I think there's like 18 acres of it. You got some really good potential for some high-end yield, but you can also end up shorting yourself on test weight if that doesn't fill, which last year we had a short test weight season because we ran out of moisture, and that still did fairly well. And then this one we have 01U74, and that goes up to, that's that whole pallet. So that one's 101 day. That's our main variety this year. That 01 is supposed to be as good as the 02K39 that we've been growing for the last couple years, but even last year we ran into test weight issues with the 02. We had some come off at 54, 55, whereas the rest of them were 58 to 60. So we tried to phase that one out this year, and we're trying this new hybrid. And then we have 2 boxes of 2292 that are both Celtro treated. So these are beans on beans, and also these are the earliest planted, so they get an extra layer of treatment. And then these are 2292s as well, but they are not extra treated because you can't get that in bags, and that's just to finish off our fields so that we have some left to fill in later if we end up running out of the rest of the varieties, or also to be what we return when we run out or when we finish. And then we got a tote of 2775, so that's a 2.7 maturity bean. And then over here we got 3 more totes. We have 2 boxes of 2674, those are 2.6 maturity. And then this one is our long bean, which I don't know if we're going to keep doing this after this year, but this one's a 2922. This is a 2.9 maturity bean. So this is the longest maturity bean. When we go out in spring, we plant the 2.2s first. They are the shortest beans so that they come off early enough to get weed in. And then we switch right over to the 2.9s, and we'll start planting 2.9s and then move to 2.7s and then down to 2.6s. With how tight those maturity ranges is, 2.6 to 2.9, it doesn't seem that tight. We may end up next year just going 2.2s and then 2.7s. We'll see, but we'll see what yields best out of those 3 beans and pick the best one to take the full-time spot probably. All stacked away, all 6 boxes. We'll come back to them when it's time to plant. Now I got it out in the sun now. There's a little bit where the rust is coming through the undercoat already, or the undercoat didn't stick to it. But that's gonna slow it down for sure. I got it over here on the wash rack so that I can take the power wash the insides out, get it cleaned up, and then we will continue on. Just got done going through the seed tender. There's not a lot to do. I got it cleaned out when we got done with wheat last year, so everything's clean in there. As far as I know, there's no new holes developed. And then you can see we got a winch on this to run the auger up and down. We just do it so constantly during soybeans, especially, that it's nice having that. You don't have to hand crank it every time. So I will put the battery maintainer on this battery overnight. Usually it doesn't use a whole lot just running that winch, but we'll do that for now. This one does not have a power unit on it. It runs off of the tractor. Usually we got the 4020 on this. That is a 4020 spring job. So yeah, it's all set. Check the wheel bearings, aired the tires up. We're gonna leave that be for the rest of the day. I was working on the 16-foot trailer. We went and got lumber. Dad's redecking the 30-footer. And the lights weren't working on that trailer. I gotta go. I decided it'd be a good idea to go to the chemical retailer tomorrow and pick up my 2 totes of glyphosate as well as my tote of Liberty. And then before that, I'm going past them another 15 miles, 17 miles, and getting a couple empty totes to have. Now, of course, I got empties sitting here that I didn't realize I'd have, but this one has Roundup residual in it. Don't really want that. I need empty totes to build my tender system that's going on the back of that diesel truck. Back there. Maybe you'll see it, maybe not. The back of that tender truck's gonna have, or the back of that diesel truck's gonna have a 250-gallon tote with a 2-inch pump. That's what's gonna tend our in-furrow system, and then the 2x2 is gonna be tended by that liquid tender we had in the shop a little bit ago. So that's gonna be the rig for liquid. So I needed a couple totes for that. Needed clean totes because the in-furrow, especially going through those furrow jets, it's got to be spotless as far as cleanliness. So I didn't really want to risk plugging anything. So I'm just getting a couple good, empty, clean ones. Planks are all laid out on the trailer, ready to be screwed down when we have time. I think Dad might do it tomorrow. I don't think so. Dad's leaving for a retreat for the weekend, so I'm gonna be all on my own. I'll be headed to get those totes and then get the glyphosate and the glufosinate tomorrow. So I don't know, should I do a video tomorrow? I don't know. It's just gonna be one day and it's probably gonna be pretty short. I think I'm gonna work on my truck, go get that stuff. Not a lot, so I'll see you guys on Monday or Tuesday, I guess. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.